Chapter 1 My first interview with the alien. Matilda O'Donnell McElroy, personal note. By the time the alien had been returned to the base, I had already spent several hours with her. As I mentioned, Mr. Kevin told me to stay with the alien, since I was the only person among us who could understand her communication. I couldn't understand my ability to communicate with the being. I had never before that time experienced telepathic communication with anyone. The non-verbal communication I experienced was like the understanding you might have when a child or a dog is trying you to get to understand something, but much, much more direct and powerful. Even though there were no words spoken or signs made, the intention of the thoughts were unmistakable to me. I realized later that, alright, I received the thought, I did not necessarily interpret its meaning exactly. I think that the alien being was not willing to discuss technical matters, due to the nature of her position as an officer and pilot with their duty to maintain the security and confidentiality required by her own unit or organization. Any soldier who is captured by the enemy in the line or duty has a responsibility to withhold vital information, even in the face of interrogation or torture, of course. But in spite of that, I have always felt that the alien being was not really trying to hide anything from me. I just never got that feeling. Her communication always seemed honest and sincere to me, but I suppose you can never know for sure. I definitely felt that I shared a unique bond with the alien. It was kind of trust or empathy that you have with a patient or a child. I think this is because the alien could understand it was really interested in her and had no harmful intention. Nor would I allow to harm to come to her if I could prevent it. It was true too. I referred to the alien as her. Actually, the being was not sexual in any way, either physiologically or psychologically. She had a rather strong, feminine presence and demeanor. However, in terms of physiology, the being was asexual and had no internal or external reproductive organs. Her body was more like the body of a doll or robot. There were no internal organs, as the body was not constructed of biological cells. It did have a kind of circuit system or electrical nervous system that ran throughout the body, but I can't understand how it worked. In stature and appearance, the body was quite short and petite, about a 40 inches tall. The head was disproportionately large, relative to arms, legs, and torso, which were thin. There were 3 fingers on each of 2 hands and feet, which were somehow prehensile. Footnote 22. The head had no operation nose or mouth or ears. I understand that a space officer doesn't need this as space has no atmosphere to conduct sound. Therefore, sound-related sensory organs are not built into the body. Nor does the body need to consume food, hence the absence of the mouth. The eyes were quite large. I was never able to determine the exact degree of visual acuity of which the eyes were capable, but I observed that her sense of sight must have been extremely acute. I think the lenses of the eyes, which are very dark and opaque, may also have been able to detect waves or particles beyond the vision spectrum of light. Footnote 23. I suspect that this may have included the full range of the electromagnetic spectrum. Footnote 24. or more, but I don't know this is for sure. When the being looked at me, her gaze seemed to penetrate right for me, a through she had X-ray vision. Footnote 25. I found this is little embarrassing. At first, indeed I realized that she had no sexual intentions. In fact, I don't think she ever even had the thought that I was male or female. It became very obvious after a short time with the bean that her body did not require oxygen, food or water, or any other external source of nutrition or energy. As I learned later, this being supplied her own energy with animated and operated the body. It seemed a little bit area at first, but I got used to the idea. It's really a very, very simple body. There is not much to it compared to our own bodies. Errol explained to me that it was not mechanical by a robot, nor was it biological. It is animated directly by her as a spiritual being. Technically, from a medical standpoint, I would say that Errol's body couldn't even be called alive. Her dull body is not a biological life form. Footnote 26. With cells and so forth. It have a smooth skin or covering with was gray in color. The body has highly tolerant to changes temperature, atmospheric condition and pressure. The limbs were quite frail without musculature. In space there is no gravity. Footnote 27. So little muscle strength is needed. The body was used almost entirely on spacecraft or in low or no gravity environments. Since Earth has having gravity, the body was not able to walk around very well, as the legs were not really suited to that purpose. The feet and hands were quite flexible and agile, however. Overnight, before my first interview with the alien, the area has been transformed into a basic hive of activity. There were a dozen men working on sensing compliance and camera equipment, a motion picture camera, and microphone and a tape recorder were also set up in the interview room. I don't understand why a microphone was needed, since there are no two-way communication possible with the alien. There is also a stenographer, footnote 28, and several people busy typing on typewriters. I was informed that an expert foreign languages interpreter and a code-breaking team have been forwarded to the base during the night to assist with my efforts to communicate with the alien. There were also several medical personnel, specialists in various fields, to examine the alien, and a professor of psychology was there to help formulate questions and interpret the answers. As I was just a nurse, I was not considered to be a qualified interpreter. Eleanor was the only one there who could understand anything the alien was thinking. There was many subsequent conversation between us. Each interview resulted in explanation increasing in understanding between us, as I will discuss later on in my notes. This is the first transcript with the answers of the list of questions provided to me by the intelligence officer at the base, which I decrypted to the stenographer immediately following the interview. Official transcript of interview. Top secret. Official transcript of the U.S. Army Air Force, Roswell Army Airfield, 519 Bombs, Group Subject Alien Interview, 9/7/1947. Question. Are you injured? Answer. No. Question. What medical assistance do you require? Answer. None. Question. Do you need food? or water or other sustenance? Answer: no. Question: do you have a special environmental needs such as air temperature, atmospheric chemical content, air pressure, or waste elimination? Answer: no, I'm not a biological being. Question: does your body or spacecraft carry any germs or contamination that may be harmful to humans, to other Earth life forms? Answer: no germs in space. Question: does your government know you're here? Answer: not at this time. Question: are other of your kind going to come looking for you? Answer: yes. Question: what is the weapons capability of your people? Answer: very destructive. I did not understand the exact nature of the kind of arms or weapons that they might have, but I didn't feel that there was any malevolent intention in her reply, just a statement of fact. Question: why did your spacecraft crash? Answer: it was struck by an electrical discharge to the atmosphere which caused us to lose control. Question: why was your spacecraft in this area? Answer: investigation of burning clouds, radiation, explosions. Footnote 29. Question: how does your spacecraft fly? Answer: it is controlled through mind. Response to thought commands. Mind or through command are the only English language words I can think of to describe the thought. Their bodies, and I think the spacecraft, are directly to them thought some kind of electrical nervous system that they control with their own thoughts. Question: how do people communicate with each other? Answer: through mind, thought. The words mind and thought combined together are the closest English language words I can think to describe the idea at this time. However, it was very obvious to me that they communicate directly for the mind, just as she communicating with me. Question: do you have a written language or symbols for communication? Answer: yes. Question: what planet are you from? Answer: the home. Birthplace words of the domain. Since I'm not an astronomer, I have no way thinking into the stars, galaxies, constellation, and direction in space. The impression I received was of a planet in the center of a huge cluster of galaxies. That is not her like home or birthplace. The word domain is the closest word I can think of to describe her content, images, and thought about where she is from. It could not easily be called the territory or the realm. So little I stop for a bit. Um, in my conversation with Ellen, he also mentioned the name of the territory. He called her civilization name Charunker, and the Earth he named the territory. It is interesting thing. Let's go. However, I sure that was not just a planet, or a solar system, or a cluster of stars, but an enormous number of galaxies. Question: will your government send representatives to meet with our leaders? Answer: no. Question: what are your intentions concern Earth? Answer: preserve, protect property of the domain. Question: what have you learned about Earth's governments and military installations? Answer: poor, small, destroy planet. Question: why haven't your people made your existence known to the people of Earth? Answer: watch, observe, no contact. I got the impression that contact with people on Earth was not permitted, but I cannot think of a word or idea that communicating the impression I got exactly. They're just observing us. Question: have you people visited Earth previously? Answer: periodic, repeated observations. Question. How long have you known about Earth? Answer. Long before humans. I'm not sure if the words prehistoric would be more accurate, but it was definitely a very long period of time before humans being evolved. Question. What do you know about the history of civilization on Earth? Answer. Small interest. Attention. Small time. The answer to this question seemed very vague to me. However, I perceived that her interest in Earth history is not very strong, or that she did not pay much attention to it. Or maybe, I don't know. I didn't really get an answer to the question. Question. Can you describe your home world to us? Answer. Place of civilization, culture, history, large planet, wealth, resources always, order, power, knowledge, wisdom, 2 stars, 3 moons. Question. What is the stage of development of your civilization? Answer. Ancient, trillions of years, always, above all others. Plan, schedule, progress, win, high goals, ideas. I use the number trillions, footnote 30, because I'm sure that the meaning was a number larger than many billions. The idea of the length of time she communicates is below me. It's really closer to the idea of infinity in terms of Earth's years. Question. Do you believe in God? Answer. We think it is. Make it continue. Always. I'm sure that the alien being don't understand the concept of God or worship as we do. I assume that the people of her civilization were all atheists. My impression was that they think very highly of themselves and very prideful indeed. Question. What type of society do you have? Answer. Order, power, future always, control, grow. These are the closest words I could use to describe about the idea she had about her own sincerity or civilization. Her emotion when communicated her response to this question became very intense, very bright and emphatic. Her thought was filled with an emotion that gave me a feeling of jubilation or joy, but it made me very nervous also. Question. Are there other intelligent life forms besides yourself in the universe? Answer. Everywhere. We are greatest, highest of all, due to her small stature. I'm that sure that she doesn't mean tallest or biggest. Again, her perfect nature showed through in the feeling I received from her. Matilda O'Donnell McElroy, personal note. This was the conclusion of the first interview. When the answers of the first list of the questions were typed and given to the people who were waiting for them, they were very excited that I was able to get the alien to say anything. However, after they finished reading my answers, they were disappointing that I could not understand more clearly. Now they had a lot of new questions because of the questions I received of the first list of the questions. An officer told me to await further instructions. Awaiting for several hours the adjoining office. I was not allowed to continue my interview with the alien. However, I was always well treated and allowed to eat and sleep and use the restroom facilities whenever I wanted. Eventually, a new list of questions was written for me to ask the alien. I got that a few other agents, government, and military officials have arrived at the base in this time. They told me that several other people would be in the room with me during the next interview, so they could prompt me to ask for more details during the interview. However, they are attempting to conduct the interview with these people in this room. I received no thoughts, emotions, or any other perceptible communication from the alien. Nothing. The alien just sat in chair without moving. We all left in the interview room. The intelligent agent became very agitated about this. He accused me of lying or making up the answers to the first questions. I insisted my answers were honest and as accurate as could make them. Later that day, it was decided that several other people would attempt to ask questions of the alien. However, in spite of several attempts by different experts, no one else was ever able to get any communication at all from the alien. Over the next several days, a Pacific research scientist from the back east was brought to the base to interview the alien. Her name was Gertrude something or other. I don't recall the last name. Footnote 31. On another occasion, an Indian cleverman named Krishnamurti, footnote 32, came to the base to try to communicate with the alien. No one was successful at getting the alien to communicate anything. I was personally not able to communicate telepathically with either of these people either. Alright, I didn't think that Mr. Krishnamurti was a very kind and intelligent gentleman. Finally, it was decided that I should be left with the alien by myself to see if I could get any answers.